Hello, Gene Schwimmer here. Welcome to today's vlog, which is not going to be the usual discussion. This is going to be more of a plea. In fact, even plea is not strong enough a word. It's more like begging. It's more like outright begging. I would almost get on my knees and beg, but if I do that, then I would be out of the frame and you wouldn't be able to see me at all. So I'm going to have to do my begging standing up. Let me give you the headline. Texas lawmaker introduces bill to begin process for Texas to secede from the U.S. Texans are fed up. They have had enough of the far left turn that America has taken, and they aren't going to follow it down that path. Now, a representative in Texas has formally filed a bill that would put Texas on track to be the first state to secede from the nation. The bill filed in the Texas legislature on Tuesday would put the issue of secession and Texan independence before voters of the state. Representative Kyle Biederman of Fredericksburg, Texas, filed the, quote, Texas Independence Referendum Act, unquote, which is seen as the necessary first step towards the Lone Star State leaving the Union. The representative pointed to the thousands of people flooding into Texas every year, desperate to escape the taxation and overregulation of other states. He believes that his state's, quote, robust economy, financial solvency, and capacity for massive energy production, unquote, prove that Texas would, quote, thrive as an independent nation, unquote. In addition to his bill, Biederman started a petition for Texas independence. Well, first of all, I have to correct you there, Representative Biederman. Texas would not be the first state to leave the Union. I forget which state was first, but you seem to forget a little argument there called the Civil War that happened over 100 years ago, when several southern states and Texas left the Union, seceded. That didn't work out so well. It led to a civil war. I don't know why Texas would expect anything to be different this year. Well, maybe if you have well, you know what? It could happen if you have a weak president, or if you have what you have now, Democrat control of both houses of Congress and the White House, because the Democrats would be happy to see Texas go. And well, let me just put a little aside here to agree with Representative Biederman that Texas probably would do well as, or do just fine as an independent country because, or an independent state, however you want to put it, because it's, well, he mentioned the financial solvency, the economy, and they obviously have a lot of energy there, and they have a coastline where they could trade with the rest of the world. They would not be a landlocked state, and they're right next to Mexico too. So that could work, and the Democrats could be happy to see Texas go for this reason. And this is why I am practically on my knees begging, because what would happen, why the Democrats would be happy to see Texas go, is because of Texas's 41 electoral votes. If Texas leaves the Union, I don't see how Republicans ever win an election again without the 41 electoral votes of Texas. That's why the Democrats are so hell-bent right now on turning Texas from red to blue, because they realize that they could, unless a miracle happens and California flips back. It used to be a red state. We can see what happened to California since it became a blue state, and that's obviously what the Texans are worried about. But what I am worried about is if Texas were to leave, then what does that do to the rest of the country? What about the rest of us conservatives? What happens to us? We would be at the mercy of these liberals. We could never win an election anymore, and we would never take back the House. And I wonder about the Senate too. In fact, you probably would have, well, Texas gone, and the admission of Puerto Rico and Washington, D.C. as states. How can you, have you no mercy, Texas? How can you do that to us? Have you no compassion? How can you leave us to the mercy of the left. How can you, I understand the urge to escape, but think of the people that you're leaving behind. I don't know. I've begged as much as I can. Please, Texas, stay in the Union. The rest of us are depending on you. And I'll just leave it there for today and hope that somebody gets my plea in Texas. If you live, well, everybody, if you could give me a thumbs up, that would be really great. If you think the video was good, maybe you could share it with other people, especially if you know somebody in Texas, especially if you know somebody in the Texas legislature, especially if you know Representative Biederman. Please don't abandon us. Don't abandon us, please. And what else can I say? If you have any questions, comments, you can put them in the comment section below the video. Suggestions for future topics. You could subscribe. I love getting new subscribers. You could listen to my music channel. There's a link in the description. My own original music. It's another channel, non-political, so don't worry about politics in the other channel. I really appreciate the time that everybody has spent with me, and I would look forward to seeing all of you again. Until I do see all of you again, bye. And please, Texas, don't leave us. Please, don't leave us.